What's up, everybody? Welcome into a new episode of the Venomcast. It's your boy, John K. Season coming to an end. We have the finale this week, which will be tomorrow. Today is Monday, because recording has been messed up this week. It's been tough to find a time to record. So, we're doing this on a Monday. It'll be up later. We're going to just send it. Wow, Wilkesboro, what a race. We'll get into it. We have a very, very special guest this week. He is a very intriguing member of Venom. First man to sit on a pole in Venom history. The first man to lead laps in Venom history. Two-time winner and driver of the number 12 Okuma Remington Ford. Everybody welcome in Jeremy McKinnon. Residential Canadian. What's up, man? How's it going?
Not too bad yourself?
I'm doing pretty damn good. So, quite the figure in Venom. You've had a tumultuous career, we'll call it. Lots of ups, lots of downs. One of the OGs. You've been here literally since the start. You sat on the first ever pole in Venom at Auto Club. You led the first laps. Kind of knowing what it is now compared to whatever you thought it might be at the beginning. What's it like, man, knowing that you hold that kind of piece of history in all of our minds?
It's I don't know. It's interesting. It's fun. It's kind of cool. It's neat, to be the first person to lay down a lap and get the pole. It's against especially some of those guys that were on here. It's just to be able to pull it off is just amazing.
So what? I know it's a while to think back. Probably, I think about a year at this point, right? The league started about a year ago. What were your thoughts going into that first race? Obviously, everybody's all brand new to each other. Nobody's really sure, I guess, what to think going into that moment. I'm just trying to think back to my first league race and what I was thinking. What were your thoughts going into that? And then obviously you sit on pole, and what were the thoughts going into the race?
My thoughts going into the race was being new. Now, there was a couple guys I had raced with prior. Brandon and Kyle Dumig, Steve Ruman, Jeff Langston. So I had kind of had a feel for some of those other guys, but there was a bunch of new guys in there I've never seen before. So at that point, you're just trying to feel out how everybody else races, what they do, what they wouldn't do. And then going into practice, that track was super loose. At that point, you're just trying to make sure that you don't cause issues for somebody else, and you're just trying to make sure that if somebody does have an issue, you're not part of it.
Right. Nobody wants to be the first caution. We all remember our first caution, I'm sure, with something like this. So how did you end up in Venom? You said you'd raced with Brendan and Jeff and Steve before, and Kyle Dumig. I know how you and Kyle met, and obviously you guys were teammates when I came in. So how did you end up on this wild ride?
I was in another league, TI Truck Series, and Kyle was on. At that point, he wasn't my teammate, and neither was Brandon or Jeff, but those guys were on their own agenda. And then when I joined a team, somebody over there had said, well, I got a guy, he's fairly new, he's not up to speed, but we can bring him over and we can try and get him up to speed. And I said, yeah, sounds good. I remember when I needed help, I always got the help. And, I've been on here, 20-something years doing, between NASCAR 3 and all the way up to now. I still ask for help, and I still need help. So I kind of lost my train of thought here, but that's how we met. Was Kyle come over and we just become friends. Like, he was just so calm and on the radio, and I'm a little bit more aggressive. I let it out, and we're just a good fit. And I miss having him on my team this year. I really do. He brings something out in me that I haven't been able to find out in another teammate. I do miss him, and I do hope that one day that we can be teammates again.
Yeah, Kyle Dumig, he's one of those dudes that he's just awesome. I mean, that's the only way I can describe Kyle. He's an amazing individual. Again, I say it every week. Everybody in here is. Everybody's amazing in their own right. Gotten to hang out with Kyle in person. I went to college like 45 minutes or half hour away from him. We went and hung out and watched a Martinsville race together last year. It was a really cool experience. He's an awesome dude. Kyle, we love you. And can't wait to have you on the podcast. He was going to be on this week, but he decided not to. He ran great at Wilkesboro, which we'll get to. We got a lot of history to go through, though. Jeremy, in season 1, you only ran part-time. We were talking about it before the podcast. Had a lot of personal, real-life stuff going on. Finished 18th. What was your mindset coming into season 2? Obviously, having you raced half the season with these guys, but coming in, were you racing for points? Were you still just trying to have fun and only run part-time? Like, what were you thinking?
Season 2, I was just trying to get back into it, get back into, the weekly ritual, every week, this is what I'm going to do. And it just, from season 1, I had so much stuff going on, both personally and not both personally, but just personally. And season 2, I just kind of wanted to just get it back in the swing of things, do the best I could, try and stay out of trouble, maybe win a race, and I lucked out. I ended up getting two wins. So at that point, season 2 was all about just trying to get back into it.
Ended up 8th in points in season 2. The 2 wins, one coming at Charlotte in the endurance race. We had 2 less sets of tires than we were initially supposed to have. I was in trouble most of the race. Kind of run me through your race at Charlotte that week. I didn't see much of you. I usually don't on a week-to-week basis. You're usually far up the road ahead of me.
With having the 2 less set of tires, I was just trying to hang back, just trying to bide time, save tires, not get into anything or anybody early in the race, because it just doesn't make any sense. So I tried to take my time, take care of my equipment, and that way I could be there at the end. And the way the cautions fell, I had, I think, an extra 2 sets of tires, or an extra set of tires anyways, that when the final stops came, I found myself up front battling for the lead. And then I think everyone was going to have to make one more pit stop. And when I got past for the lead with, I believe it was 25 or 26 laps to go, I'm like, this is my chance. I'll get fresh tires now, see if I can make up time on pit road, which I usually can. I'm usually pretty good at that, getting on and off pit road, and then make up some time with the fresh tires. And by the time that was all said and done, I found myself, I think it was 13 seconds out in the lead.
Yeah, and I think I remember you saying when you crossed the finish line, everybody was congratulating you, and you go, "It's about time." A season and a half. Missed a couple races here and there. He missed Eldora Dirt, which we'll get to. But kind of an up and down start to season 2. Finished 4th at Chicagoland, and then missed Rockingham, it looks like. Unless I'm just blind.
Season 2, no, I raced Rockingham.
Yeah, I was going to say you raced Rockingham, ended up 32nd. Another one of those just kind of tough finishes that you had. Daytona, Rockingham, not finishing well. The 4th at Chicagoland, and then winning at Charlotte. And then, um, it was, again, we talked about an up and down season. I think you got exiled for a couple of weeks in a tough situation, but then came back for Pocono, right? Was Pocono the race you came back for?
Yes, yes.
Um, came back for Pocono, and at that point, it was one of the most incredible finishes we had. And I mean, we had a lot of them in season 2. We had Dover was an awesome finish. Bristol was an awesome finish. Michigan was, I mean, for me anyways, Michigan was an awesome finish. I'm trying to think of, there was just a lot of good racing in season 2. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, well, Pocono, kind of run me through the end of that one. Only one lap led, but it was the most important one.
Yes, it was. I lucked into that one. I started in the back. I just, because of what happened 2 weeks prior with whatever happened, I still don't know exactly what all happened. I made a joke, and it doesn't matter. Anyways, so we go into Pocono. I thought, well, I'll just start in the back, try not to rough up anybody's feathers. Try not, just start in the back. So I just took my time, and again, when the time came, I found myself running. I think it was fourth or fifth with a handful of laps to go. There was a couple guys in front of me that I think were damaged, had older tires, so I made quick work of them. And then Andy and Brandon were battling for the lead, but they were kind of way out there. I wasn't going to catch them. And then I saw some crazy blocking going down the back stretch, going into the tunnel turn, going into 3. And then I saw a contact. I think it was Brandon go way up the track. Andy kind of got loose, and they slowed right up, and I was in the gas. And as I'm coming out of 3, my eyes just went, because I saw what was going to happen, and I just kept my foot into it. I went down to the inside. I figured Andy was going to throw a big block, but he didn't. He ended up dooring me coming to the line, tried to slow me up a little bit, but at that point, he just didn't have enough, or he just didn't do it correctly. When I looked at the score monitor and I saw that I was 1, that was huge. That was huge for me. That was what led up to that, and to be able to come back and win. I even said on the radio, it doesn't get any bigger or better than this, especially with the group of guys that we have.
Yeah, that was a pretty epic return. I remember it was, Jeremy was just gone one day, and then we loaded in the race, and I see Jeremy McKinnon connected, and I was like, thought Jeremy wasn't here anymore, and I was glad to see you back. Our friendship is an interesting one. Basically cousins, because you're Canadian and I'm from northern Michigan. But we didn't really talk too much, and I don't remember racing you very much up until Bristol. And I mean, we had talked. Obviously, we talked. I think I've talked to just about everybody in the Discord. But I'm trying to really think. Yeah, I don't think I really got near you at any point until Bristol. And coming to that one of the final restarts, I have fresh tires. I think it was it wasn't the last restart because we had a couple green white checkers. Not my proudest moment, but I had led a bunch of laps at that point and had fresher tires and was feeling a little rowdy. So I decided to take you, and I don't even remember who. It was Michael Dean. I decided to take us 3 wide into the corner, and all I can think is I'm going to make this stick, so we're going to get through it and be just fine. And then next thing I know, a yellow comes out, and I clip the apron because the yellow comes out and slide up into Michael Dean and hit him too. And some hot dog stand in row 38. And then I hear this big booming voice come over the radio. I'll remember that next week at Michigan, eh? Like, oh God, what happened? Come to find out, Jeremy was in the middle of that three-wide situation, and he decided I want no part of this and backed out and spun himself, and was very quick to message you after the race. I was freaking out. I thought I was gonna die the next week, and you told me a couple different times that you'd had a rough race up until that point.
It was horrible. I mean, if there was a wreck, I was in it. I probably wrecked on my way out of the track going home. If somebody was wrecking, I was right there. I was in it, and people bouncing off walls coming up. I'm in it. Somebody's spinning, a mile up the track. I'm in it. I'm getting run over. I'm getting hit, sideswiped, everything else. So the first 185 laps were just a complete nightmare. I finally got all my damage fixed, fresh tires, and I'm looking where I'm sitting. I'm going, this is amazing. I'm running, I think, fourth at the time or third. I know I was up there because I was like, well, shit, I got a chance at winning this race, and then I got put three wide, and I backed out of it, hit the brakes, 50% rear brake at Bristol. When you get on the brakes hard enough, you just spin out. So that's what's happened.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Obviously, I pit with Nathan and Brendan, and I was like, okay. I come out behind a bunch of people. I'm like, well, I got four fresh ones. I'm ready to rock and roll, and I think I can beat all these guys in front of me. And had a run, and yeah, it was unfortunate. It was not my brightest move, and make a very similar one when we talk about the race this week. But yeah, season 2, you close it out finishing second at Texas. We always make the joke that we don't really remember who won Texas because it was just such a crazy end of the season, and Nathan being time champ led 9 laps. You're always quick at Texas, which we'll get to again in a moment. Finish.
Yeah, the first year at Texas, I was slow. I was way off pace. I couldn't figure that place out, and then something clicked over the last couple seasons for me.
Yeah, I remember the week that officials were at Texas. We ran the hell out of it, and I think it might be on. Might not be on my YouTube. I don't think I've uploaded it yet. But my God, I think we got 5 or 6 of us in the same split, and you were quick there, and I was like, man, at the end of the season, he's gonna be a handful when we get there. Finishing 8th in the points, as we talked about, 2 wins gives you the tiebreaker over Steve Roman, who finished tied with you, 4 points behind me. It wouldn't have happened, I don't think, if you didn't have to miss a couple of races. Even Eldora, if you'd have been at Eldora, you beat me. But a really good season, much better. I think part of that is attendance, but the 2 wins sure help, and I think the 2 wins cemented you as one of the top drivers in the league.
Yeah, I just try to do the best I can without roughing anybody up. You know what? There's just a certain way you race, and you expect to get raced. So that's just, I don't know how I go about it.
I'm trying not to laugh. Well, again, we'll get to it. Speaking of roughing up and adding to our friendship, when did Dover happen? The Pro-Am at Dover, where we ran the Cadillacs.
I want to say that was. You know what? That's a great question. I don't remember. I'm going to say probably a good week, maybe, or maybe the next couple nights after Bristol. I know it was roughly that time.
Yeah, I think it was. It was really close, but we had a Pro-Am race at Dover in the dark in the Cadillac CTSVs, because since they have the headlights. And it was a blast. Those things were fun. Of course, there's no dates on the race results. I thought there might be. Um, 11:09. I think that said 10:31. So it was like a week apart. That's what it looks like. 10:13. Yeah, it's like a month apart. But we got into each other at Dover too. I completely forgot about that until I saw the Pro-Am tab. Um, Sat on the pole, and you and I we were getting it up front. And then we crashed coming off of turn 4 in those fragile piece of crap cars.
It doesn't help you couldn't see it was dirt.
It was a shame though. That was a lot of fun. We need to. I can't wait for the next Pro-Am. There should be a bunch of those in the off season. But yeah, we were getting after it, and yeah, it happens. Those cars were a lot of fun there. So coming in season 3. What was your mindset coming into season 3? You've been here 2 seasons now. You've kind of cemented yourself as, any week could be your week.
Just build off of what season 2 was. Just trying to build off season 2. I got one win, which I felt I earned. One win, which I felt was kind of a gift. I happened to be there at the right place at the right time, which, I mean, you have to be there to take advantage of it. And I did. So I just trying to build off of that, try to lead some more laps, try to get a couple wins, try to, maybe get a third win this season, and just try to build off the momentum I had, but it just, nothing clicked this year. I've made mistakes. I've had some stuff happen, and unfortunately, unless I can luck out and get a win on Tuesday, I'm gonna go winless this year.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's got to be tough for you to say that. We went to one track where you were really good, and where I spent a lot of time learning from you and Andy and Michael Dean at Darlington. Texas, obviously, you were flying at. I was trying to catch you for a good majority of Texas, and you just kept driving away from me. And you said, kind of a self-inflicted wound. You wonder how much time you lost spinning out on pit road, and that's got to be frustrating, especially like when you're, in the middle of a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, I was fast. I was up there, and then getting on pit road, I just too much rear brake again. I love that rear brake. I never used to, but I find it really helps me. And I forgot to set the brakes to the front so that it was stable getting on pit road, and I lost it. That cost me a bunch of time, and at the end of the race, I think I was 3 seconds behind, something like that, 2.5 seconds behind, 4 seconds, somewhere in there. And just kind of makes you wonder what might have happened had I not spun out on pit road. Auto Club was the same thing. I didn't spin out, but I got caught speeding. I didn't realize the cones were, a mile before pit road.
Yeah. And then Milwaukee, we talked about before the podcast, before we started recording. Milwaukee, you got caught up in my mess there, and that hurt your race. You were running really well. We were both solidly in the top 10. I think I could have contended for a top 5 that day, but wasn't meant to be. Lucas Oil, you come away with a top 10. I think you have 2 top 5s on the season and top 10s. It's been a good year. 13 career top 10s and 5 career top 5s. All in all, I'd have to say that's a rather successful season. Maybe not, like you said, by your standards, expecting to win races, but it's been an interesting season for everybody. And the end of your season it's been difficult. I mean, obviously the couple of races where you were really fast, Auto Club Texas, kind of shoot yourself in the foot a little bit, and then Darlington was a mess from the get-go for you.
Yeah, I didn't even make it 2 laps, and I'm trying to think. Somebody got the wall. Jan tried to checkup, but I was full send, just trying to, because you got to keep up the momentum at Darlington. You got to get the run, and you got to try and get them coming up off the corner, and that's what I was trying to do. And Jan was off the gas. I was on the gas. I got into him just a little bit. I saw him get loose, and I went right to the bottom of the track to get away from him, let him catch it, and he. I think he was just trying to catch it, and he came down and he sideswiped me, so that hurt. I was not down on power, but I was just couldn't get the truck to turn, and I was a bit slow, but it wasn't too bad. And then as I was getting lapped, you look in the mirror and you see the guy, 4, 5, 6 car lengths back, and all of a sudden you're getting spun around. It doesn't help.
Right. Yeah. It makes it difficult. And like I said, that's a track where I learned a lot from you. I spent a lot of time watching you and Michael Dean and Andy, and I have to give you a lot of credit for my success as well as I gave to Andy, and who I'll think we'll talk to next week, and Michael Dean. Something I kind of forgot to talk about. We'll talk about it in a second. Getting door slammed by your future team owner at Pocono. Kind of a cool moment between you and Andy. Talladega. What happened? Oh, yeah, we know what happened at Talladega. You got another really decent sideswipe at Dega from a deaf man.
Yeah, he forgot to put his hearing aids in.
Zittle, we love you.
I love you.
We wouldn't feel so bad. Yeah, I mean, again, you got to give props to Zittle for even going. Well, how many laps was that? 40, 50, something like that.
I think it was like 40 or 45 laps he ran.
I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
No, that's probably the worst place to be running without.
Yeah, no kidding. Like I said, I would have been terrified the whole time. Still came away with a top 10. I know you spent a good majority of your time up front. You and I, the first good chunk of the race, nose to tail, first and second. That was pretty cool. I've seen you a lot more this season. I think that makes me feel good. I don't know if it's because bad things keep happening to you or what, but I've seen
you're getting better. You're getting a lot better. I mean, between season 2 and you know what? I don't really remember much from season 1, so I'm just going to go on for season 1. Okay, so yeah, I mean, from season 2 up until now, I mean, it's night and day. Kyle Dumig's another guy that it's night and day between season 2 and season 3. I tell Kyle Zittle and Paul Ellison all the time, I don't know what you guys have done with him, but he's fiery, so much better. He is fired right up. I ask all the time, what happened to the cool, calm, collective, guy that he used to be? Because now, you talk to him and he's just like, yeah, he's all fired up.
Oh, man. Kyle's awesome. He is a Class A smack talker, too, and I love it. I've heard him in public lobbies giving people the business, and that's actually how I met Kyle. I made a comment in a race at Gateway in an official. I said, hey, man, I like your truck. He was running of course, he was running a Kyle Busch truck. And we became friends, ended up in this league together. He came away with a top 5 at Wilkesboro, and I'm super proud of him for it. But I have to say something. He pulled a me. He straight up pulled a me. He was sitting there in practice, and he goes, God, I'm 2/10 off. I can't believe it. I'm so effing slow. And I don't remember who it was, but they go, Kyle, you're 2/10 off on a fast lap. That's awesome, considering who has the fast lap right now. I don't even remember who it was, but it was just so funny. He's come so far, and that man can short track race. I will give him that. He can short track race. I think it's all the super late stuff he does. It's got to be. That's the only thing I can think of.
It's something. He, the mile and a halves are a little bit of a work for him, but he's getting it. And yeah, I mean, his short track is just unbelievable. You look at his finish from Bristol, and you look at his finish from North Wilkesboro, and I think even IRP he ended up with a decent finish. Unbelievable, everyone's got something that they're better at than somebody else, and short tracks just happen to be his thing.
Yeah, I finished 27th at Milwaukee. I thought he was running better at Milwaukee. I thought he had. I know he got a handful of official wins. 17th at IRP. I feel like he ran better there than his result shows, which happens. Yeah, I was pretty mad at myself after Wilkesboro, but hearing that Kyle got a top 5 really made it a lot better to sit there and go, you know what? I may not have gotten the finish I wanted, but one of my friends got a finish that they definitely deserve.
Yes. I mean, he works hard. He's hard on himself, but he definitely earned that. And, he's made the comment to me, I think it was the other night, that it would have meant more had I finished and had he have beaten me, but still to beat those other guys and end up with a top 5. I mean, this group does not mess around. We have some of the best guys on this league, and to be able to beat any of them and get a decent finish, you've worked hard. You really have.
Yeah, I was so happy when I heard that he finished 5th, and I messaged him afterwards. I go, dude, top 5, hell yeah, let's go. And he goes, should have been better. And I was like, my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Wilkesboro, ooh. We have more short tracks coming in season 4, and we'll drop the schedule next week. We'll talk about the schedule. We're gonna have a mega. I think we're gonna have a mega cast next week for a season end finale thingy before we head into the off season, or I guess as we're heading into the off season. There will still be Venomcast content coming, but we're going to talk about season 3. The one thing we can say is there's more short tracks, and I mean, this week showed that short tracks can be hectic for us, but I think adding more to the schedule could help us get a little more comfortable at them, because I mean, Wilkesboro and IRP were our 2 legitimate short tracks. IRP was 1 lane. Wilkesboro was multiple groups, which was so nice. I think season 4, I think we can figure this short track thing out as a league, and make them not so messy. I know you have some doubts, possibly, but I think we're a good group that can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, my experience, like I said, I've done it 20-something years. I go back to the NASCAR 3 days, and short tracks just never made for good racing, and it is what it is. I'll be there. But don't expect me to be happy about it.
Yeah, and you are definitely one to voice your opinion. Obviously, we talked about you missing Bristol Dirt in season 1 due to personal issues, but season 2 you miss it because you hate dirt, and you make it well known you don't like road courses either. You're definitely a hell of an oval driver, though, that is for sure. You put you on a paved oval and you're gonna do some damage. So we got to talk about it. Race 12 at North Wilkesboro Speedway. The car inside 150, presented by YouTube, 150 laps. I don't know how big Wilkesboro is. It's not very big. Man, it was it was something. Where did you end up starting at? I don't even remember where you started at.
I believe I qualified 4th.
Yeah, I was gonna say you weren't far behind me.
I think I was either 3rd or 4th, because I was side by side with Andy on the second row, and I said to Andy, I said, going into turn 1, I said, I'll let you have it. There's no sense in racing hard. It's a 150 lap race. I'll let you go. I'll get in behind you. Let's see if we can work together, save some tires, and stay up front. And Yeah, that just didn't happen.
Yeah. I started second, so yeah, you started fourth because you started behind me. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm in good hands. I have Jeremy behind me. That's good. I like that." Especially after we'd been talking all day about how kind of nervous you were about the race. And then I let you down.
It wasn't you. You got in the corner, and as a guy that's behind you, you got to be aware of that the guy in front of you might slip up, especially at a track like Wilkesboro. Bristol's another place. Martinsville.
Where we go in
Um,
season 3. That's the or season
yeah.
4. I'll let that one slip.
So, Martinsville, Richmond's another place that if you get in just a little too hard, you're going to wash up. So, as a guy that's behind you, I have to be aware of that. It's my responsibility to not run you over. And I saw that you got in there. I got on the brakes to make sure I didn't run you over. And in doing so, the guy behind me, I still feel this way. And the guy behind me just decided he didn't want to lift. I mean, I got told that he was on the brakes and he still got into me because he got pushed into me. But that's still, just because you see a gap doesn't mean you have to fill it. I mean, that's the bottom line. And I'll tell her how I feel, and I just feel like I got dumped by the same guy 2 weeks, 2 out of 3 weeks, and it's frustrating. It really is, and I let it be known.
Yeah. Yeah, I still put, I will take some of the blame. I should not have been running the line I was. I should have just ran the middle where I was comfortable. But 3 and 4 at Wilkesboro, there's a curb, which is important for later. And 2, it is very bumpy down there, and wasn't really comfortable at that point. It was like lap 2 or 3. I just went in on the bottom, and I was super uncomfortable down there. So like I said, I will take some of the blame. In the middle of the corner, I just kind of tapped the brakes to settle the truck, and
No, I mean, I'll tell you now, you didn't do anything wrong. You got in the corner, you got on the brakes. You're supposed to. Um, but lap 4, lap 5. I mean, there's a time to try and fill gaps and race hard and charge into a corner, and then there's this time to just kind of chill out and relax. And lap 4, lap 5, that's all I was doing.
right.
And I mean, like lap 140, lap 145, you're not gonna intentionally run a guy over, but you're not exactly going to do everything possible not to run him over.
Which again we'll get to, but tough race for Jeremy. End up 19th, heading to Homestead. Hopefully we get some more door-to-door action. I know we talked about, obviously I love running door-to-door with you. I know I'm in good hands. I'm not so sure about because I don't trust myself. I still have my moments, but Wilkesboro, when it was green, it was a lot of fun. I know you checked out after your incidents, but when Wilkesboro was green, it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Um, Tires were so important, and I could tell when my tires started falling off because I shouldn't say I've so graciously let Mr. Carr inside have a gap. No, Nathan backed off of me, and just whenever he felt like flipping the switch on, he just ran me down. But I was struggling at that point. Uh, Andy really controlled the race. He led 79 laps. He got by Ryan, and I think everybody was pretty content to sit where they were once we went green for a little bit. Garrett Rainey had a great run. He was quick all week. That guy can short track too. His win, I can't wait for his win. It's coming. He's been good.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps talking that he's gonna have to wait because I congratulated him on his finish too, and he said, "Well, I said your win's coming soon." He goes, "Well, it'll have to be a short track." For Garrett, it could be anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
he is fast. He's super clean. He's another guy that I absolutely love racing side by side with him because I know he's not going to do anything malicious or stupid. Um, I could just list off probably 5 or 6 guys that I trust going in the corner side by side, even at the tightest tracks, and know that I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, Garrett matches a career high second place finish where he got at Kentucky also. So for the guy that says his win's going to come at a short track, I don't think so. I think it's going to come at one of the 1.5 miles.
Playing possum.
Yeah, playing possum, sandbagging. He's good. He's got a lot of speed. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I just hope I'm on his team so I can be there in the voice chat with him. Ryan led 14 laps and all but locked up the championship. I wasn't supposed to spoil that, was I?
Hell of a season by him, by the way. Unbelievable. Super. Yeah, another guy, I wouldn't think twice going door to door with him, going into any corner, and know that you're going to be taken care of. But no, awesome job, Brian. Fantastic season. I just, man, I wish I had some of his luck too, because good guy.
Yeah, the golden horseshoe is tacked up on the wall somewhere at RNS, and they just put it in their trucks with them. That must be why it happened at Darlington. They left it in my truck on accident.
Yeah.
They put all the duffel bags and stuff in my truck when they take it to the track. But Greg Elliott, rookie, I think, no, not the first rookie to win a race ever. Snip won a race in season 2. And technically everybody in season 1 was a rookie, so season 2 only counts when it comes to rookie wins, and I'm pretty sure Wes Nip got the first one. I might be wrong, and I might have to correct myself. But Greg Elliott ran a hell of a race, led 51 laps. Garrett comes in second. Andy finishes third, one spot ahead of Ryan, which, again, like I said, I'm pretty sure locks up the championship for Mr. Ryan Dye. We will know more going into Homestead. But I'm like 99% sure that's what he said. So, big kudos to Ryan. Mark Martin did his way to the championship, finishing second everywhere we went. Dude was super consistent. Got the win at Kentucky, which was awesome. I have to pick your brain about Kentucky before we leave, actually. Kyle Dumig in 5th. Second career top 5. Let's go, KFD. Flinky in 6th. What a run by the kid. I love racing door to door with him too. I mean, I haven't gotten to do it much, so I'm not super comfortable, but man, he was fast too. He was hard to get around. I had to come from the back a couple of times. Sam Dunaway finishes 7th, so Pistonhead Mafia 6 and 7. Brantley Gainey another top 10. I think that's like 2 out of the last 3 with top 10s for Brantley Gainey.
While we're on the topic of Brantley Gainey, sorry, Miss Gainey.
I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Brantley, don't let her watch the podcast if you're seeing it first. I'll shoot him a message. I didn't even think about that. You've got to explain it now. You got to explain it now.
So, my name is Jeremy McKinnon, and if anybody likes music, they might have heard the band A Day to Remember. Well, the lead singer has my name. Well, apparently, Brantley and his wife are big fans of his. So he gets talking to her about, oh, I raced with Jeremy McKinnon, the lead singer to A Day to Remember. So anyways, we get talking, and he goes, would you do a prank? I'm like, sure, I'm always up for something. So he turns around, and I said, oh, you know what? I'll sign something. A friend of mine that I met from the NASCAR 3 days, he's in a band, 50-watt Freight Train. So he's a guitarist. Anyways, he had sent me in the days before this, a picture of his living room with all these nice guitars, and in the background you can see a steering wheel because he races. So I'm like, oh, I'll use that picture. So I take that picture and I sign. I say best wishes with her name on it, and then I signed it, and then I wrote a day to remember. So he takes it and he sends this off to his wife. She starts losing her mind, thinking it's the real Jerry McKinnon. Because I mean, the steering wheel's in the background, the guitars are up on the wall. It's a living room. This has to be it. So she's losing her mind, and I don't know. I'm gonna say probably 15 minutes goes by. He goes, "I think we've been busted." Then he sends me a screenshot of my Facebook profile, and yeah. So needless to say, we got caught. The prank lasted about 15 minutes, but sorry, that was not totally my idea. I mean, it was, but it wasn't. Sorry.
That might be one of the best things I've heard. I heard part of it, but I didn't end up hearing the whole story. That is amazing. Um, oh my god. we had Brantley on the podcast 2 weeks ago for Darlington. I need to talk to that guy more. He's for being so damn fun, he's awfully shy. So Brantley, if you're listening, don't be scared.
Yeah, make sure you know.
Just
Sorry.
just stay away from Cole. He's the only one who might touch you. Speaking of Cole, he finished 9th. Paul Sargent rounds out the top 10 in 10th. Good to have him back. 2 straight races for the older of the 2 sergeants. Hopefully Kevin comes back and races with us. I love racing with Kevin. I finished 11th. Michael Dean finishes 12th. Eric Breeding 13th. Jan 14th. That's a heartbreaker, by the way. Jan had a top 5, and I don't know what happened. I think he said he spun out or something. Got spun out, net-coded. Everybody's favorite excuse. Carson finishes 16th. Nathan finishes 17th. Such a weird... Nathan... sitting there racing under caution, and his screen blacked out, and he ends up in the pit wall, and that's how his day ended. It was shocker. He made fun of me because on my stream he said it looked like I'd seen somebody get murdered. It was just a surprise. He just hung a left and drilled the barrels. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, why is this race just so strange? Kyle Zittel, a really decent 18th, and then Jeremy at the tail end of the field. Rough outing for you. Hopefully Homestead. Fingers crossed Homestead goes better. I've figured... all this started happening when I asked you to be on the podcast the first time. And then since then, it's just been downhill. So I feel like this is my fault.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean... It's your fault.
That's fine. Understandable. Bristol was my fault, too. I'm just glad I didn't get wrecked at Michigan.
Bristol was another place that that wasn't your fault either. I mean...
Yeah, well...
it
was.
You took me... Well, I mean, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're going for the win.
Right.
And I was really pissed off over the first 185 or 190 laps, or whatever it might have been. And... 3 wide, I'm thinking I got a shot. You surprised me. I backed off, got on the brakes, trying to, let you in to maybe do a crossover or whatever, and I looped it. I mean, it's not like you sideswiped me. It's not like you dumped me, right? So
I would have ended up sideswiping you, yeah. I tried to throw a Brandon Vyers slider on asphalt, and it did not work. I had a rough ending to the race. I was running second after everybody pit, I think, except me, and I just kind of moseyed my way up front, and I was like, yeah, I haven't really been pushing that hard. We'll just sit up front, and the tires even out pretty quickly, so we'll see what happens. And 2 cautions, 2 restarts. Greg takes the top line on both of them, and then we come to a third one. Greg takes the top again, and I don't know why, but I just let the truck drift up half a lane too high and got popped for switching lanes before I crossed the start finish line. About a truck too early, and took an EOL, got fresh tires, thought I was Superman at the back of the pack, and I was going to drive past everybody and go win the race. And shout out Eric Breeding. I took him and Michael Dean 3 wide. It might not have been Dean because I hit Dean, but took Eric and somebody 3 wide. I'm an awful teammate. Truck unsettled going into 3 and 4. I clipped the curb. If I wouldn't have hit the curb, I'd have been fine. But I hit the curb and hit Michael Dean, and this is why I wish each other good luck before the race, because we hadn't hit each other all season, and we've been doing it all season. So I blame Michael Dean. It's all his fault. Also, shout out Ryan. He stole my only moment at glory. I had the pole for about 3 minutes, and then he stole it. So
just want to say the curb is not Braille.
No. Well, it wasn't that instance. It told me I was like Michael Dean when I hit my tire on it. It very clearly spelled out, "You're screwed." So, oh man, I have so many issues in my brain. So we're heading to Miami this week. Homestead, Miami. I'm pumped. I'm gonna be up top the whole race. I don't care. I'll let everybody know my game plan. I ain't scared. We have 94 laps at the Champion for a Cure 94, presented by the Dystonia Medical Research Foundation. I believe this race is sponsored by Kevin Sargent, if I remember correctly. So I kind of hope he shows up. That'd be very cool. Yeah, we don't like any kind of invasive disease around these parts, and we're going to do our best to bring light to them. And that's what this race is all about. Man, it's already here. It's the last race of the season. It feels like the season started 3 weeks ago.
Last week?
Yeah. I can't wait to spend about 2.5 hours getting into it next week on the season finale podcast. What are your plans going into this week, Jeremy?
I just plan on doing what I've done all season. You know, I just, with a little bit of luck, I should be right up there with contending with, you know, some of the top guys in this league. And I just need just a little bit of luck. I feel like I'm fast enough. I feel like I've learned a ton just from being around some of these guys on how to save tires. So if I can just get a little bit of lucky and whatnot, I feel like I should be up there.
Yeah, I think, obviously bad things happen in threes. I think Darlington, Talladega, North Wilkesboro, I think you're set up for something good here.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Hopefully I'm set up for something a little better because I'm selfish, but, you know, that's just the racer in me. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a day to night race again. I love these. I love that we've started doing them. It's so much fun watching everything change and having to deal with little different track conditions when it cools off and it gets more fun. And who doesn't like night races?
Yes.
If you don't like night races, you're a loser. Get out of here. Yeah, that's
yeah.
really
I mean, the night race, you know, turning from day to night is a lot of fun. It's a challenge. You know, the tracks change a little bit. You know, sometimes they get looser, sometimes they get tighter, sometimes they get really loose. It's weird. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun trying to adjust your line and how you drive a track as the sun sets. It really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a completely different challenge, and I'm very much so looking forward to it. I know you are. Obviously, you want to end the season on a high note. We're going to find out all our award winners. Most popular driver, most improved, sportsman of the year, I'm not gonna name names, but somebody said they voted for Jeremy for Sportsman of the Year.
I doubt it.
And no, because of who said it, I don't think they were kidding, although they might have been. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was funny. I just thought I'd tell you at least somebody's in your corner.
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, not that I'm not, but
yeah,
it
I mean,
sounds
if
awful.
somebody voted, yeah, well, yeah, I mean, if somebody voted me for Sportsman of the Year, shout out, thank you. But
We both know about
I,
it.
I just, I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I tell it how it is, how I feel it is, and right or wrong. Um, I can take the criticism if I'm wrong. I can take the heat if I'm wrong. But if I feel like I've been wrong, I'll let you know. And I don't. There's no sense in sugarcoating everything because it just that's just not who I am. You know, if I have a problem, I'll let you know.
Right. And I mean, that's the easiest way to fix a problem is to address the situation and, you know, kind of change the actions. And I'm hoping that your situation allows you and that person to become closer and, you know, be friends and understand where each other are coming from. Uh, so interested to see how this week plays out. I'm excited. The goal is and next week's gonna be packed. We're gonna talk to the champion, which Ryan pretty much said is locked up. If you know, it would need more than 25 trucks for it to something to change, I believe. And we only had 19 last week, so it'll be interesting to see. I hope we get a good field this week. Obviously,
Well, being that Andy's my teammate, I brought in 20 trucks. So
what a teammate of the year. So Ryan's gonna have to race for it.
yeah, I mean, I'll sign up my kids. I'll sign up my mom.
Get him to C class and into the league. It's been a heck of a year though. I mean, wow, I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about all the stuff next week, and hopefully, Jeremy, you're back on talking to Nathan in Victory Lane, which it's going to be a double Victory Lane week next week. Nathan's sick, so he's not recording anything. The bum. Can't count on him for anything. Jeez. What a butt. No, I'm kidding. Get better soon, Nathan. I know you're probably going to end up watching this. Um, wow. Season three's over. Season
Hard to
three's
believe.
over. It feels like I was just wrecking at every off-season race a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, very weird, very strange.
It's it's been a strange season, that's for sure. As a league, we've gone through some changes. Um, I think it's brought us all closer together, and we all have a lot more respect for each other now. Since we're all working, we're doing it the way it should be done. Doing it by committee, making sure everybody's voice is heard. If somebody's got something to talk about, you know, it gets. I think for the most part, it gets brought up. Everybody's opinion's valued. There's been so many great moments. Andy and Michael D in Talladega, selfishly Darlington, Motegi Road, Michael Kroll winning that that was awesome.
I couldn't pick a better winner than Michael Kroll, or even you at Darlington.
I was gonna say I'm hurt. Gee, no, I'm just kidding. Man, just what a season. And you thought season 3 was crazy. Just wait till season 4. It's gonna be nuts. Longer season, more short tracks, which Jeremy loves. Twice as many road courses. No dirt. Um, yeah, we'll go through it next week. We'll break it all down. We'll talk to our champion. We'll talk to our award winners. And we'll have all sorts of people on. We're gonna have a party. We're gonna party next week. That's what we're gonna do. Thank you all
I'll
so
bring
much.
whiskey.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm gonna have a drink. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Jeremy for joining me. It was a lot of fun, sir. Hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was nice. I'm nervous, but
But you did great. It's a crime that we didn't have you on sooner. This league, we cherish our history, and to not have the first pole sitter and the man who led the first laps in Venom history on sooner is a travesty. So thank you, sir. You have the best voice in Venom, third best beard in Venom, and one of the best.
I shaved it. It's not as long as it used to be.
One of the best looking trucks in Venom. Also, that Akuma Ford is awesome.
I love it. Big shout out to Chad Streeter for painting that.
Chad's a beast. See you guys next week. Make sure to tune in on either Car Inside or JK Gaming on Twitch. Car Inside on YouTube, JK Gaming on Twitch. To see.
I don't have nothing, so
Jeremy doesn't have anything. Come watch the race from our perspectives, and we'll get more people to start streaming for your viewing pleasure. See you guys next week.
Have a good night.
Woo! That was fun. Oh. Did he leave? Oh. It's like, damn, you're out of here already.
Well, no, I just wasn't sure if I had to click out of it or not, and then
No.
I don't know, click. Yeah, thanks for having me. That was a lot of fun. Nervous, but yeah, a lot of fun.
Now you can go return your camera. Just don't tell them at Walmart what you were on.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell them. I don't know.
Something.
I'll just tell them it made my face look puffy or something.
Added 10 pounds. The camera always does.
Yeah, that's right.